the scene is set at the Japanese restaurant known as Sakura's, located in the Bay Market, which is the rather nicer end of town. It is here that, the word is kind of spread that the Bruja, she's not really of any position, but she does have age over majority of them in the city. But the Bruja Oboro um, is opening up her restaurant. Not that it wasn't open before. Of course, you could always see her if you required. But it seems that she's kind of making an event. She seemed to has add on to her building. And what she passed through the grapevine was is that there is a certain section now of the building in the back where if you needed a private meeting space, you could find it. Even those who are more visually challenged, shall we say, could find their way to Sakura's in the back to have meetings. It seems that this is a bit odd as she's very isolated usually. And yet she's managed to invest money in order to make this expansion to give Kindred a place to, congregate, so to speak. Sparingly, one would think, but nonetheless, our kindred this evening have found themselves at this building. Most of you are, as I like to say, not visually challenged like the Nosferatu, so you are more than welcome to enter to the front of the house, which is a lovely sushi restaurant. Of course, you merely ask where to find her, and the hostess will point you in the direction. Some of you have been here before. Bianca, of course, has, and they point you to the back rooms, which is where Oboro usually hosts her gambling parties. There still seems to be members of her gang back there. All of them appear to be of Asian descent at the most, wearing suits. Their sleeves rolled up to show, of course, their very intricate, heavy, completely covering tattoos. Rolling dice. Of course, then you see the newer looking door to the expansion, and that's where you find, I guess, what you would call the private room, so to speak. These are becoming quite popular in this city, as it seems almost every club has something of the sort for Kindred to do. Well, maybe things that shouldn't be seen in the public or perhaps talked about. You go there and you find not only Oboro there welcoming you very kind of oddly kindly, but also Val, who seems to be so excited this afternoon, or disturbed, kind of both. She seems to be both disturbed and excited. It's an odd mixture of emotions that are coming from her, but she seems to be really loud. And the moment, particularly when Bianca comes in, she's very excited to see her. But then, of course, that excitement kind of turns off the moment that Josephus also enters. Is all of a sudden, this is the typical suspicion she cast over every Tremere is right there. Yes, Val is the one who writes for the paper. And that's where our scene will begin. As Val just kind of eyes Josephus with a dirty glance and then turns to Bianca and anyone else who cares to listen, really. So, did you hear the news? Do you read the papers?
I did read the papers. Which news are we referring to?
The other face got ripped off.
Yes, I did hear about that. That is quite disturbing. I live down in Parkview.
I skimmed it. I didn't read it all the way through. What did you read?
That fellow that they found the body, school driver, bus driver, some sort, found the body out on Tuesday morning, I think it was.
They didn't get him from the Angelique.
No, they said that he lived in the Parkview and he was taken from his home. It's quite disturbing.
No, and that's a change in MO too. Weird. Weird. And she kind of looks over there. As she keeps saying weird over and over again, she looks over at Josephus again.
Yes,
Anyway.
he is.
Josephus will approach your table, and he won't ask for an invite or whatever. He'll just sit down if there's a chair.
Yeah, there's a chair. Of course, you're getting very, I mean, maybe dirty looks isn't the word, because you seem to make at least a decent impression last time you spoke. But she still seems oddly suspicious and kind of quiets down when you sit down.
And I'll put one hand or one arm on the table and kind of lean into my elbow as I look at Val. I'll say, I've come across something quite concerning, perhaps. More interesting to me, but perhaps concerning to you.
Something
Within,
concerning, huh?
yes, within
Well, if
the
it concerns you, it
times.
must be very concerning, right?
I smile fakely at her and nod my head. Yes, it's something I've found within the times. No doubt, perhaps you might be aware. If you're not, well, I guess I've just made myself more interesting.
She just kind of contemplates what you just said before kind of look at you. All right. So what is this interesting thing that you saw in the paper? Now keep in mind I just do freelance work for them now. I can't exactly show up to a 9 to 5 anymore. So I don't know what exactly is going on all the time. I write opinion pieces on occasion.
I'll lower the tone of my voice, but not low enough for those that aren't like, sitting near or like, I guess hovering nearby to hear. Uh, but I'm just being just a little bit hush, a tad bit hush, as I say. There is a correspondent that's been writing to the paper for quite some time now, dropping kindred lingo in his writings. One going by the name Cardinal Richelieu.
Richelieu. Is that he? Cardinal Richelieu.
Yes.
And he's saying what now exactly?
I'm saying.
Because, I haven't exactly read anything about no princes taking over recently or not getting invitations to Club 33 or, those sorts of things. So I take it it's pretty subtle, right?
Subtle perhaps to the kind, but to astute kindred, ones that know where to look. It's clearly obvious that a kindred is writing to the papers, lamenting about his, perhaps hers, sufferings. It screams at out of the page. I thought perhaps you would be someone that might be able to help me in finding this person.
As you kind of say that, a figure kind of approaches from behind you, and it's Oboro Hyuga. She seems to have overheard your conversation, and she just looks at Val. Yes, Val, I would like you to look into these sorts of things. Val just kind of nods. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I will look into it. Don't want anyone breaking the masquerade, Zooey.
No, we don't. Did it perhaps say where this person was writing from? Some of those columns tend to put like cities at least to narrow it down.
Negative. No, nothing of the sort. Just lamentations on how he is shackled and dreaming of something brighter. Quite tortured.
Dreaming of something brighter like a sunrise. Do us all a favor if he's gonna go telling us secrets.
I'm not sure about a sunrise or anything like that. Perhaps lamenting internally. Words so poetic. Perhaps written by a toreador.
I one of them. All right. Well, sure. If I find out a toreador's writing shit in the papers, I would love to know about it. Rubbing the faces. Sure it's not a Ventru?
Well, I'm uncertain.
That's a shame. All right.
Both would be
You know
quite
what?
the scandal.
You know what? I'll look into this. I'm interested. I'm interested. I really am. I'm going to look into this just because I really, really want to know. Really want to know if this is a, Torador of Ventru just writing shit in the paper, acting all poetic. So that is very interesting. What kind of correspondence were they? Were they like opinion pieces, freelance work? What are we talking about here?
I think they were mostly opinion.
Opinion
It seems
pieces.
like this individual has
So
quite a run on his words appearing on paper.
So like so did he get like a freelance work or is it classifieds?
Oh, I think it's one of those write-ins.
Ah, all right. Right then. Can figure out who's doing those these days. They've changed a lot in 10 years.
Uh, so,
Staff changes.
so I guess you might not be able to assist then.
Well, I
We'll
might. They're not all changed. We'll see. It's been 10 years since I worked there. I still do things on the sides. Can't do on the spot reporting. Not that I was ever interested. I was more interested in the guy who got his face cut off again. But this is interesting too.
Well, if you find out a lead, I'm more than happy to go with you to look in on it.
The face cut off guy or the Toreador possibly writing it. You know what? I'm just gonna say it's a
Either
Toreador
one.
doing it because it's funny. Everybody,
I'll
Toreador's
go with
writing
either
into the
one.
papers. Tell everybody. I'm a harpy now.
Well, I suppose you'll need to prioritize what's more important to you. Stopping a murderer from chopping off faces or finding which kindred is writing to the paper.
You can almost feel the death glare that Oboro's giving behind you to Val before Val just kind of nods. Right. Well, masquerade is priority and stuff. And while they're not, busting the windows open right now, they're cracking the glass, right?
Better we avoid that if we can.
Right. 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 That's disappointing. Taken away from the fun stuff that I do. Right, you got it. You got it. Find this Toreador is writing into the papers. Anyone else feel like talking, Zay?
Bianca has a slightly concerned look on her face for a moment. Wasn't one of those Bob folk, didn't they have a church title?
Yes. This person goes by Cardinal.
I wonder if that's one of them sending messages. In which case, it's even more of a threat. We definitely need to find out.
Oh, you mean like Sabat stuff?
Yes.
Interesting. I like the idea that Toreador fucking around better because, Sabat suck. But, if it is, be all over it. Be all over it. Of course, you don't need to wait for me to do it.
I think I might go check out the local churches. That's where cardinals and such tend to congregate. And she kind of chuckles to us.
So we have any, like, men of the cloth that are, introduced to society?
I'll raise an eyebrow.
You don't count. Unless you're just turning yourself in.
No, of course.
In which case, there's Oboro Hyuga. She can cut your head off now. Oboro is just scowling at her now. Behind you. This is very serious, Val. There are other things going on that apparently don't trouble you the way they should. All of you should know that if any of our traditions are broken, it could be danger for all of us. Has the Sabbat invasion, the crusade against us, taught us anything?
To be vigilant. Don't
Yes.
let little things go unchecked.
Yes. From what I understand, there's this. And there's that other thing I've been telling you to keep out of the papers, Val. And there's some things that haven't been kept out of the papers now, has there? Val's just kind of silent. She looks a little nervous now.
Other things? Judy will kind of say nervously.
Yes, other things.
What other things?
Had a chance to look at it myself. I'm busy. Some anemia going around, of course, in the colleges. And there's something that just happened recently that I asked Val to get ahead of. Suspicious death in Maplewood. Serial killers taking people's faces off is, of course, interesting as well, but not our problem as far as I know. And yet it seems like a lot of you neonates aren't interested in such things. You're more interested in your serial killers.
Well,
Mr.
Delores and I are looking into the anemia thing.
And who told you to do that?
We did it of our own fruition. We thought it'd be, us in the medical community and all that. She just smiled.
I see. Tell me, are you still supporting Anton? Are you supporting our new prince? Or are all of you blissfully unaware?
Our prince is our prince. Danielle just say smiling. And Anton is a good friend. So I support both.
Interesting. It is at this time that Adam, finding his way to the back, kind of walks in and sees this group of kindred. Most of them sitting at a table, except for one woman in what appears to be a black. I mean, it's tailored for a lady, but it's basically a suit. Kind of standing, looming over with medium length, straight black hair. She kind of has like a very unpleasant look to her face.
And I'm just gonna walk in as he breaks his obvious state. He's dressed fairly simply, but politely enough. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen.
Oh, great.
Well,
You just hear that coming out from the table.
Bianca elbows Val, gives her a really.
Yeah,
Adam's,
really.
Adam's just gonna chuckle. Well, I'll stay out of the way of the tables. Nothing to fear from me, just a concerned citizen.
Judy will smile brightly and gesture over towards where she is at a suitable, appropriate distance.
Yeah, Adam's just gonna kind of straight walk past Val. He's gonna nod politely to the people he doesn't know. Isabel, Bianca, Danielle.
Hello.
Pleasure as always. But I mean, don't let my appearance ruin the conversation.
It's not your appearance I'm worried about, Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Well, I'm sure that both of us can play nice for one night.
I'm always nice. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have to play at anything.
Well, I'm sure. Then we won't have any trouble.
No, of course not.
It's as I said, please feel free to continue. It's not. I think you'll find I can be quite civilized sometimes, and well, these past few nights, you need all the civility you can get with, the recent murders and the bodies being found, and God knows what happening, God knows where. I just wanted to voice my concerns and, well, see if I could lend any assistance to you folks.
Well, it's good to see that someone here is interested in the well-being of a city and not so concerned with petty things or politics. This is coming from, of course, the Asian woman. I don't know if you know Oboro or not.
Adam has not met this lady, so she's gonna give a slight. Adam Fitzpatrick at your service. It's a pleasure.
Oboro Hugo.
Pleasure as always. I apologize I've not had the chance to meet you before. I've heard pieces here and there, all good, I assure you.
I'm not one typically people meet. I have my own businesses.
Well, I'd probably say the same. Before I rudely interrupted.
No, of course not. You said you were interested in helping. Well, there's several things going on about the city.
Well, I said I was gonna help with some of the bodies found around the area. Face in particular. He's just gonna look towards the people he knows.
You're
Quicker we can
interested.
get some.
You're interested in helping.
Of course. Anything I can do these nights.
I see. Well, perhaps I might have something for you to do, but we won't discuss this now.
Well, of course, it'd be a pleasure to talk with you and get better acquainted in private. As I said, I wouldn't want to ruin the company. When someone in my family appears, usually it derails things a little. We don't get out much these nights. With so much attention in the media, it's not wise for a Nosferatu to go out.
No. Regardless. And as she begins to speak, there's a knock on the door. And she goes to open it. The person who looks in is an Asian man. Bianca knows him as Oboro's ghoul, Jean. She kind of whispers quietly in Japanese. I doubt any of you have Japanese as your other languages, right?
No.
No. Okay. She just turns to nod to everybody and leaves the room suddenly and quite quickly too. Well, that was interesting.
I wonder what that was about.
I have no doubt we'll find out, or not, how these things go.
Probably not. She tends to keep things private. At least as much as she can. And Bianca's still just kind of staring at the door where she just left.
Yeah, 2D is as well. Just, curiosity.
And I'm just too.
Well, go ahead and roll perception alertness, everybody who cares.
Ooh,
This is
hot
where I
dog.
roll a botch.
Hot.
Okay. Okay. We got 4, 4, 3, and 1. All right. And what do we got? Ziggy. We got 2. So Adam and Josephus, you hear kind of a loud talk. You're not really sure if it's shouting. It's someone who's just really loud, and his voice carries. And it's a man. And he appears to be Irish based on the accent that you can hear. The rest of you can hear someone go, Oboro-sama, I have a proposition for you. Please, please, let's talk. And the voice kind of trails off as it appears that he's being walked away.
Oh, shit.
Is this a voice I would recognize?
Probably.
She's talked to the leaders of the Irish mob, so...
Not this one. No. I'm going to
Okay.
say that simply because John's not here. It's a different one.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
What?
Oh, just... It seems family business is spreading.
So, anybody looking into this face grabber? Yeah? No?
If you want, we could all go together and look into it. 2D kind of just said, smiling.
I would very much like to look into it, since the last person who was grabbed to where I live, so.
Oh, is that right? Maybe they're going to grab your face first. You never know. Interesting. Well,
I'd
yeah,
like to
then
see
maybe
them
we
try.
should.
Well, Isabel, if you need an escort home, although you can handle yourself, I'd be glad to walk home with you. But yes, I'd also be interested.
I'm just interested in keeping the people that live in my neighborhood safe. I can handle myself.
Don't let me keep any of you. I'm definitely interested in looking in this, but we probably should also do that, anemia thing and the Maple Street thing, or not Maple Street, Maplewood neighborhood thing, and the newspaper thing. I know it has to be a Toreador if they're talking in flowery language. Like, I have to do. Is it in the news? Is this stuff in the recent paper?
It's in a few papers stretching back quite a ways.
Do you have dates?
Off the top of my head, I would look up into the papers in the last few days. I believe he shows up once or twice. But yesterday's paper, most certainly.
To look into this, definitely.
I wouldn't imagine that this is any kind of priority over everything else that has been mentioned.
No, of course, but they really shouldn't be doing things like that in the papers, at least not being so obvious. There's been a couple of instances in the past. I've done a lot of research on serial killers, as you know. There's been a couple of instances in the past where serial killers contacted, other serial killers in jail using poetry and stuff. So maybe they're communicating with somebody.
Oh, yes. And speaking of communication,
which is interesting.
I'll lean back a bit, and I'll have the look of uncertainty on my face for like a split second before I say, as a Tremere, my clan is very much invested in the protection of the city. I've taken it upon myself to start a correspondence through the paper, just as this cardinal has, in an effort to root him out and bring him to me. I hope that won't be an issue.
Well, look, I won't tell anybody else about it, but you got to be careful about what you say. You know what I mean?
Understood. What I have written has already been sent out. It's not up to me whether it gets published or not. I hope that it does. I used similar words to this individual, this cardinal, because, as you said about serial killers writing to serial killers, there are certain words that we look for. It's my hope that he reads what I wrote and comes to me. It would solve this issue entirely, I believe.
So you're a serial killer. Is that what you're saying?
No, this is unrelated, but I'm just keep integrating it into my hobbies. What can I say?
Yes, it's a similar mindset. You don't write to the paper unless you want attention.
Right. It's an interesting way to communicate with somebody.
Yes, so I've taken the steps to already do so. And if the steps come to fruition and I'm rewarded by a visit from this cardinal, I will, of course, let the authorities know. And by that I mean the clan and so forth.
Well, Oboro is a little bit of a hard ass when it comes to like traditions and stuff, but I don't really find it a problem. I think it's very interesting. I'm very curious to see who this person is. But I already told you that, right?
Of course, you being involved in the paper, I'll let you in on who it is if I find out.
You know what? You turn out not to be so bad, even if you are kind of weird.
I'll just smile at her. Question: does this
Yeah.
place have like gambling stuff in it, like roulette tables, or is it like cards?
It's what it is. I can't even remember what the Japanese name for it is. Is a dice game. You can play it in here if you want.
Is
The
it like
dice.
mahjong or no? That's
No, it's even simpler than that. You
All right.
basically have 2 dice in a cup. Someone has to be dealer. Basically, they shake the dice and they put it on the ground, and people bet either evens or odds. That's it.
Okay.
They're playing it out here. There's of course, the materials to play it in here if you want to play, but we don't have a dealer. Someone have to choose to be dealer.
No, I don't want to play. My character is like, obviously, if the dice game is visible, I'll periodically glance to it. And is Oboro still here?
No, she is not.
She's gone. Okay. All right. I will sit put until I can perhaps spot anyone that might be like, perhaps running this place or appear like they're somehow involved. Like, my eyes will be on like, in movies where you see like, waiters or whatnot talking to like, the manager or whatever. So I want to look for someone that's giving instructions, even if Oboro isn't here. That's
well, in here it's private, so the only person that seems a little bit odd man out, in the door. The door isn't open, but you can kind of see the shadow of someone standing in front of it. You could assume that it's Oboro's ghoul just kind of keeping watch, making sure no one comes in. You do have a Nosferatu in here. You don't want kind walking in here, so there's really no one else in here except for you guys. You could always knock on the door and talk to the ghoul. If you'd like. Of course, you have to be careful about how wide you open the door. Otherwise, there's no one else. There's no one that appears to be in charge in here at this moment, as Oboro is left to talk to somebody who has an Irish accent.
All right. I'll stay put.
Alrighty. So what have the rest of you been up to?
Just getting my business running. Seems to be going strong so far.
Very, very simple. No interesting doodads going on.
What sort of doodads are you meaning?
Well, I mean, I'm looking into like face rippers. Not really gotten very far in that department.
No, I haven't really looked into anything
anymore. What's that roll for?
That's a manipulation subterfuge because she's been looking into things, but she doesn't want people to know.
Okay. Well, Val's not going to roll against you. Val's your friend, I believe, on paper actually.
Yes.
So she's not gonna suspect you of anything and just take you for your word.
This is for anybody in the room who doesn't trust her.
Isabel already knows that's bullshit, so she's not gonna.
2D doesn't get it.
Okay.
Would that just be a plus alertness? Empathy?
Be
Perception, empathy.
Perception, empathy, yes. No. Okay, so you're fine. That bullshit flew. Well, you need to get a little bit of life in your life, it sounds like.
She lets out a small chuckle. I suppose I do. I think going after this cardinal will be a good way to start that, then.
Maybe. Maybe. Well, yeah. Go ahead, everybody, roll perception alertness. Okay. All right, everybody else fails. Danielle, you realize that the person who's guarding the door suddenly started walking away from the door kind of quickly.
Yeah, she clocks that and twists her head and kind of sort of gets up.
What is it, 2D?
She's moved from the door.
What? And Bianca will get up and head towards the door and open it just a crack to peek out.
Yeah,
When
2D.
you look in, the front or the back, basically it's the back of the house is how it's usually referred to, is empty. This is where the people would stand to gamble. And when you came in, at least everybody who came in through the front of the house, you saw these people. You know, we're not going to lie about who they are. They're yakuza, playing dice. They're gone.
Isabel has acute vision, so with 2 successes, would she have seen that too?
Sure.
Or no? Okay.
We'll go. Well, everybody sees it now.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Someone
initially.
opened the door.
That's not good. She kind of looks at Bianca like, the fuck?
May want to get those who can't be seen out quickly. We don't know where this is going to escalate to.
Is anyone looking at Adam at the moment? Are you all just looking at the door?
Bianca's looking out the door because she has it cracked open.
2D's actually going to a place to find so she can obfuscate. So she's not, doesn't care about the rest of you.
Adam will do the same.
Yeah.
I'm still seated, but my attention would be where everybody else's attention is.
Yeah, we're all looking at the door.
You begin to hear shouting. It seems to be at the front of the house.
Bianca's going to head out.
Does it sound English?
No.
Okay.
I'll give that. No, it does not sound English.
Bianca's going to start heading out.
Very Eastern. What else is the rest of you doing?
Towards the front, that is.
Okay, you're heading towards the front. What about the rest of you?
Yeah, Isabel will accompany Bianca. She's very curious about what's going on, and if she can help, then she will.
Okay.
I will go out there as well, but like not in a fast pace, like in a.
You're gonna stay behind everybody else?
I'm gonna be behind everyone else, but I'll be going in that direction.
Danielle, what did you say you were doing?
2D's gonna try to find a place to obfuscate and then follow if she can. If there's not cameras or anything in here.
Bianca's going to close doors because she doesn't know where Adam is and wants to make sure he goes out the back. So
Val's kind of following behind the rest of you too. Is she's very. I slipped into her accent while I'm doing narration. That's stupid. But she's following behind you guys. She seems very nervous. This kind of tension. As you guys kind of move to the front of the house, Bianca, kind of at the head of this. Let me go ahead and roll this here. Before you could even open the door to the front of the restaurant, you begin to hear a popping sound and the shatter of glass, and it just keeps popping over and over and over and over again. You're pretty certain this is gunfire.
Drop to the ground.
Yep.
Okay, you drop to the ground.
Yeah, Daniel does the same instantly as well.
Is there another door between her and the front of the house?
Yeah, there is. You don't manage to make it to the door before the gunfire begins.
She's going to make her way to the door, to the side of the door if possible, so that she can peek out without being hopefully shot directly.
Well, all of you can hear screaming, of course. Some screaming, shouting and stuff, things clattering everywhere. Bianca, as you peek out, you can see from the front of the restaurant, you see, patrons. Actually, they're not really patrons. Let's be honest, they're Yakuza. They're up in the front. There already appears to be some on the ground. the hostess, you can see, is screaming, running back to your direction. But as you see her screaming, running back to the back of the house, all of a sudden she falls over. Her screams stop very suddenly. You see a lot of the men running out front, pulling pistols, pulling knives, things like that. But you don't see anybody that appears to be anyone but the Yakuza. So whoever's attacking them is outside in the front of the building, just kind of spraying and praying.
Bianca's
Adam's
known this
headed
woman for years, so she's gonna go and check and see if she's still alive or just unconscious.
Nope, she's dead.
Judy will kind of to Josephus and probably say, "There's a back way we can loop around."
Yeah,
Or get out of
Isabel's
here.
already heading towards the back door to go outside, out the back, to see.
So is Adam. I
Yeah,
don't actually have started that way.
2D's gone out the back.
Okay, everybody's going out the back.
Bianca's going out the front.
Bianca's going out the front. All right, everybody's heading out back. When you get out back, it's pretty dead back there, actually. Nothing's there. You can still hear the fighting up front, but the gunfire's starting to taper off. You can hear the screeching of tires and things like that.
Maybe we should get out of here. Daniel just kind of looks around at everybody.
Isabel's going to head around towards the front from the back of the building.
Or not.
What's it-
she kind of just say, or not.
What's the lighting like around the front and everything? If it like dark alleys, or is it all just exposed with bright street
Well,
lights?
you're in the back, and it's kind of that's how you came in. So it's obviously kind of secluded and kind of dark. So you don't have to worry about being spotted or anything, at least at this moment. I would be wary about, of course, dropping your mask or dropping your obfuscate. But at the moment, I'll give it to you that it doesn't appear anyone is there other than, Kindred to see you.
Adam's also going to head towards the front, but he's going to kind of hang back in the shadows. And if it looks like it's getting a bit brighter or there's chaos going on, he'll hang back.
Okay, so you're kind of heading to the front of the house with Bianca?
Yeah, I'm heading actually behind Bianca and Isabel. Like, they'll get there before Adam will.
Isabel's heading out around the back.
Yeah,
Bianca's
Isabel
going
went out
the
the back door and is
Oh
going
yeah,
around
I
the
went
front
out
of
the back, but I'm walking round the back.
Oh, you're going to go
away.
from the back to the front.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're going to go around the building. Is that what Isabel's doing too?
Yep, she's booking it.
Okay. Are you going to the front to where all the fighting is?
Yes. Just because she wants to see what's going on and which, if anything, she can do to help.
I'll do the same, but mine is more tentative. Like, I'm assuming that Bianca's like rushing and running. I'm more like walking, slow walking.
Same with Daniel.
Bianca's looking for knives or some sort of weapon, since she didn't bring one in with her.
Okay. Well, you can find a dinner knife, Actually, you don't find a dinner knife because you're at a sushi restaurant. You see chopsticks, but I'll give you that. There appears to be maybe a chef's knife, kind of relatively near the back of the door.
She'll grab it.
Okay, you grab a chef's knife. As you kind of walk in, you see a couple of members of Oboro's gang. A few of them are dead. A couple of them are just kind of moaning and the odd thing is that they don't appear to be like running in terror, other than they're just kind of staying in place and then being very aware if they're not dead. You don't see Oboro, you don't see her ghoul Jean, but you do hear the screeching of tires, and you can kind of see bright lights up front. And they're kind of dimming a little bit. I'm sorry, I kind of had a brain fart right there. But you still hear yelling and things like that, and things crashing. What are you guys gonna do?
Bianca's gonna make her way out to the front then, to the tires and the screeching, and find Jean or Oboro or...
Okay, here we go. Here. All right, you get up to the front, and And you hear a couple more pops as you get up to there. Everybody else is kind of heading around front too. And what you all see is you kind of see a few more cars peeling away really fast down the road. And you also see a couple of more people kind of ducking behind parked cars. You see a couple of what appears to be gang members firing at each other from across the street. And as you kind of, get more out into the building, it appears the main, chunk of the gunfire is ended. You see a couple people running on foot away. A couple of them with pistols in their hands. There are two that still seem to be just, really, really intent on firing there too. You also see, if everyone wants to roll perception alertness. Okay. Alrighty. Well, we'll say that Adam, Josephus, and Bianca can see what appears to be a corpse that looks suspiciously like Oboro, kind of laying in the dining part of the restaurant, or at least kind of in the doorway.
Does she look to be shot anywhere, or?
She looks to be lying on the ground, not moving.
But she's not Ash.
No.
Bianca's gonna pick her up and carry her into the back.
You do that. Let me roll a chance dice here. Good. You hear a bullet whiz past your head as you pick her up and run with her to the back. The rest of you see this too, but it appears everybody is kind of clearing out. You can hear sirens in the distance. What do you guys all do?
Oh, silence in the distance.
Yeah, 2D looks at Josephus, kind of like, we're bucking out of here type of glare, and she begins to try and make her way out.
Okay.
No.
It seems to be a little crowded, as it appears a lot of people are trying to make their way out, but you can do that.
If Isabel saw Bianca pick up Oboro and take her to the back, then Isabel will run in after them to see if she can get more information on what happened here.
Adam's headed out back as well.
Yeah, I'll go out back as well.
But Adam's not actually going to leave.
Once Bianca has Oboro back behind doors, towards probably into the room with the gambling, she's gonna see if she's conscious, or if she.
The moment you put her down, her eyes open up, and she just kind of slowly gets out of your arms. Val's back there too. She looks like terrified. My God, are you okay? No, I'm not okay. I got shot in public. Not okay.
What do you want us to do?
I need to leave.
Do you have a safe place to go?
Yes, I do. Find Jean.
I will. And Bianca will immediately go and see if she can find Jean.
Yeah, you got a 9. So you pretty much find him immediately. He's running back because he saw you leave. And he kind of understands what's happening, and he runs to the back. You can hear Oboro talking about, Val, did you drive here today? No, ma'am. I took the bus. Not making a lot of money lately. Can't afford gas. And she just kind of nods her head. Is everybody else cleared out from now, or are you guys doing anything else?
As soon as she sat up, I exit.
Okay.
Yeah,
You exit.
2D's gone.
All right, you're
Bianca
gone.
came back.
Bianca came back. Isabel came back. Josephus is leaving.
Adam's still there.
Adam is still there and obfuscate. All right. So basically, you're hearing this. They're not really concerned with you. You can hear anything. Jean comes in. And Oboro begins to speak to him in Japanese. He nods quite curtly and heads to the back. I need you all to leave here immediately.
I have a car if need be. Let's go.
Yes, take your friends. I can't be here. That is too close to a breach, and I will not be I will not be what I claim to dislike.
Of course. You know how to get a hold of me if you need anything.
Yes. I will let you know where I am soon.
Safe travels. And she'll grab... She knows that Isabel and Val are there, so she'll grab them both by the arms and take them out the back to her car.
Yeah, Isabel doesn't protest or anything.
This is where
Adam?
Adam's gonna leave.
Very well. Adam does that, leaving Oboro kind of alone, sort of bleeding voluntarily from her torso, just kind of standing there, her arms kind of down to her sides, her eyes cast down. She's not even really angry at this point. She's more upset. Her sons are dead, and she can't help them anymore because she's supposed to be dead too. This is an interesting position to be in. And with that, we are going to end the scene.